What's up, guys? This is Jeremie Hart. I'm the recruiting coordinator slash assistant coach here at SMU. Stay to the end of this episode to hear my three things of what parents need to know about recruiting. So allow your kid to grow. Um, allow them to develop. Allow them to fail. Allow them to go through their process.
Hey, I feel like a lot of people don't want to come together, right? A lot of people don't want to collaborate. A lot of people don't because they want to do their own.
He spoke all these things into me over the phone during COVID, and literally I couldn't see ahead, and I just sat on the phone with him like, man, this dude is out his mind. I don't know what he's talking about.
And so many people out here that can be doing camps, that should be doing, giving back, doing free camps, doing all these different things, but they not.
I've been saying this. You can go back and it's documented that I've been saying this. I've never been wanted to be called a trainer. So,
because you're going to get to the school, but you need a development plan.
Yeah. When things don't go their way, when things, get hard, they tend to either run or transfer or switch teams.
Like they go back and forth of should I charge this person? Should I do this for free? Is this building my portfolio? What does that look like? Do you think it's an issue with kids having multiple trainers?
And there was times where I needed what people were offering, and I looked at myself and said, bro, you're not gonna be able to sleep at night if you do that. So I stood tall and said, no, thank you. I'm gonna create my own value, create my own wave. And then when I do that, somebody gonna notice that.
Welcome to It's Just Different Podcast. We bring on people who have been where you're trying to go and or have helped countless athletes get there. I'm your host, Ashley Roberts, your favorite coach who don't coach teams. I just coach the parents, and I just bring on people to give y'all information. And today we ain't really switching it up, but we kind of switching it up because most times the college coaches that I bring on are on the girls' side. But today, I got somebody on the men's side who's also a dad girl. A girl dad. Don't be saying a dad girl. Girl dad. Got an athlete playing basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And you done been through, first of all, y'all know I don't do introductions. But we got, you go by Coach Hart, I'm going to call you Jeremie.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
What do people call you?
Coach Hart.
Because you're a coach. But, well, I'm gonna call you. I can call you Jeremie.
Yeah, we good.
Okay. Or Jay.
It's whatever.
Do you go by Jay though?
Jay Hart.
Jay Hart.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, first of all, I feel like I tell you this all the time, but shout out to you. I have literally watched you when you was training to freaking. Well, you was a GA, right?
At Mary Hart and Baylor.
Yeah.
At a D3, and then I went to GA at Kansas State.
So you was a GA at UMHB, GA at K-State.
Yep.
And then you got your first coaching opportunity.
Yep, at New Mexico State as Director of Player Development. But at Mary Hart and Baylor, I was finishing my degree also. So I went back to school during COVID while being a voluntary assistant, basically, at UMHB. So I was going back and forth from Dallas to Belton, training in Dallas, driving to Belton, doing stuff with the team and going to class and driving back to Dallas to work with players in Dallas.
First of all, before we even get to any that right there, that's when I say the work is the work, that's work.
Thanks.
People will probably see now, being at SMU, the things that you are accomplishing right now.
Yeah.
Started from the work that you was doing long before you even got to SMU.
No doubt.
Can you just talk about that? Because I do feel like it's people that I feel like we are in a world now where people want stuff given to them, or people want it to be easy. And if it's hard, they not gonna do it.
No doubt.
That is hard.
Yeah. I'm I'm real blessed, and I'm what I mean by blessed. I'm blessed to hear God's voice, learn how to hear God's voice. When I was during COVID, I was sitting at home, and my college coach, he called me one day to check on me and my kids and my family, and he told me in the conversation some things that I didn't like, but they was needed to be said. I was done playing ball. I was training, and COVID hit. I went to Canada to coach my first job, and we lost our job due to COVID. So I come home, and I'm not graduated. And he told me over the phone, he said, "Man, what are you gonna do when this thing is over and we come out of this?" And I was like, "Man, coach, I don't know. I'm gonna maybe coach overseas or coach in the NBA or something like that." And he's like, "Well, how the heck you gonna do that?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Shoot, you need to go back to school, finish your degree." He was like, "Man, I see great things in you. I see you coaching at the high level Division I. I see you coaching in the NBA. I see you developing players that's gonna make it to the NBA." He spoke all these things into me over the phone during COVID. And literally I couldn't see ahead. And I just sat on the phone with him like, "Man, this dude is out of his mind. I don't know what he's talking about." I hung up the phone with him, called me back a couple of days later, asked me, have I thought about what he said? And, I literally prayed about it. And I just heard God's voice and was like, man, God told me like, he was speaking through him to me,
Yeah.
and that I needed to go back to school and I needed to do these things. And, he said I had a job for me at UMHB to go back to school to be a volunteer assistant and work my way up. And that's what I did. And I was like, "Coach, I don't know how you saw," I tell him right now, like, "I don't know how you saw what you saw in me, but I'm super thankful and super blessed that you did what you did and said what you said to me, even though I didn't want to hear it." Because a lot of times when you telling somebody things like that, they could get, it could come off a certain way to where you not want to speak to that person no more, or you feel like they being too hard on you. We don't like to hear the truth, and I needed to hear the truth to get my life together. The next phase of my life after playing basketball, because that's a whole nother subject in itself. Players who play the game and don't know how to transition after they done playing. And now I have a lot of people that reach out to me and ask me for advice about this because it's hard.
Yeah.
Because all we know is dribbling that ball. And once it stopped, like, what are you gonna do? Like, what do your life look like? And for me, I didn't know what my life would look like. But again, I'm grateful to have a coach that coached me in 2009 that still thought of much of me to call me and talk to me and mentor me. And so I'm forever grateful to Ron Holmes.
Yeah, man, that's dope because it can be scary sometimes.
Mhm.
Like, and then especially in your situation, I thought I had to sneeze. It's coming. Guess not. In your situation, because you wasn't getting paid at UMHB, right?
No. I was paying them. I was paying to go back to school. So I didn't make $1 million playing basketball overseas. I made some decent money to take care of myself, to take care of my kids. I used that money to go back to school to
Wow.
to get my degree also while, trying to get into the profession. And then I ended up coaching the AAU team, and that's where I used to run into you at in Austin.
Wow.
I was coaching the AAU team, training and doing that. But really blessed because of that time. That time taught me a lot about myself. It taught me a lot about building myself up and where I was trying to go. So I'm really thankful for those few years at UMHB.
Yeah. Yeah, we kind of hop right into it. I like to start the podcast off with what's different. I think the game of basketball is different, whether good or bad. What would you say is different as it relates to basketball now versus back then?
I think today's basketball, these kids, boys or girls, are really skilled. I think the talent level has continued to rise because the game has continued to grow and flourish in a great direction. Now, what I think is different is a lot of these kids cannot deal with adversity as we used to. They're not as equipped to deal with adversity as we used to. So when things don't go their way, when things get hard, they tend to either run or transfer or switch teams or all of these things. I tell this story all the time. Like, I'm from South Dallas. I was supposed to go to Lincoln High School. South Dallas wasn't the neighborhood for me to go to high school in, even though I was raised there my whole life. And my grandma and my mom, they knew this. So they literally sent me to Garland to go to South Garland. I didn't know anyone. I went to school on the first day of school and asked when basketball tryouts was. And I went down to the gym when tryouts was, and that's how I made the team. But nowadays kids, when they're in middle school, they trying to finesse and see what coach is where, what situation is what before they get to the high school, and it's like, man, like that's just a different part of the game, like the not being able to adjust to adversity.
Congratulations on taking the first step, and that's watching this episode. But you need something more. You really need a community of parents that's going through the same thing, that can talk, laugh, share struggles, share wins. You need a community that's going to give you monthly resource drops on how to create a highlight tape, what to send to college coaches, and a community that's going to bring in guests, bring in college coaches, bring in experts to give you information. I got the community for you. The different community, and you need to be there. The different community, and you need to be on the inside. Click the link in this description, and I'll see you on the inside.
Why do you think that is, though? Like, why do you think kids now don't know how to adjust or don't even want to go? I feel like they don't even want to go through it.
I think a lot of it, we say obviously it's the kids of this generation, but I think a lot of it has to do with parents, because I'm a parent of 3 girls, 6 total, but I don't want my girls to go through things that's hard.
Yeah.
Because I want to keep them from the things I had to go through. And that's just us as parents. So if you're a parent in basketball, you like, man, well, especially if you get a guy that, his career maybe didn't go the way he thought it should go. So now when his son go through something similar that he went through, he's like, oh, nah, my son can't play for that coach. My coach was like that. I got to get him out of there, And so it's part of the parents' fault too, that the kids are the way they are, because we want to coddle them a little bit. And I think for that to change, the parents has to change as well.
Yeah. Now, you say you're a father of 3 girls. How many play basketball?
So 2 of them play basketball. My 15-year-old and my 14-year-old.
Okay.
My oldest plays volleyball.
Got you. Well, so all sports, but you're on the sideline, so you coaching. But you also get to be on the sidelines as a parent. What advice would you give to other parents as they help navigate their athlete's journey?
My biggest advice, I think, would be to allow your kid to grow. Allow them to develop, allow them to fail, allow them to go through their process. I know a lot of people throw that word around, but I mean, like, obviously we just talked about things like dealing with adversity and stuff like that, but just allowing your kid to fail, if they're not starting on the team, allow them to finish the summer with that team to see how much they gotten better or whatever the case may be, and not looking to your left, not looking to your right, looking at somebody else's path and journey, like just focusing on your own and your kid journey. And I think that would be my biggest advice.
Yeah. Do you find it hard to not go into coach mode when you're watching your daughters?
No, it's not hard for me at all, because my daughters don't live with me, so when they're with me, we spend time as dad and daughter. So I've found that balance and peace of like understanding that they get coached all the time, and when they're with me, I try to make it as fun as possible. So when we do talk basketball, but just not as much now.
What about when you go to the games?
When I go to
are you kind of like in that coach mode, or are you just sitting there watching?
I've been sitting watching up until this summer, Drive Nation. I coach my daughter some from the sideline, but I also trust the coach that she plays for.
Yeah.
And I'm a coach, so I understand that, I don't want to make him look bad or demean anything that he's saying by coaching her or telling her, you should be doing this and that, because obviously I'm a recruiter. So if I see a parent doing that on the boy side, I'm going to look at them crazy. So I don't want to contradict myself. So if I find a little peak and valley in there where I can say something to her or sneak something to her, I do. But for the most part, I think Coach Reggie, he did a great job with her all summer. So when I was there, I allowed him to coach.
Yeah.
And I missed a couple of tournaments, but.
So, and you just said something. You said, you see a parent on the sidelines doing all that, you're gonna look at them crazy. I don't think they really understand like how much they play a factor in their kids' recruiting
Yeah,
as
a
well.
big factor.
Like, what are some things that you look for? And obviously you're on the boys' side, but recruitment is recruitment. What are some things that you look at in the parents or you look for when you come to games that might be a red flag?
Like you said, recruitment is recruitment. I think boys or girls, when college coaches go to watch kids play, the red flags are, a parent, obviously you can say something to your kid or say something to a ref or whatever during the game, but it's the way you go about it. Like if if you got a parent that's, demeaning somebody or cussing somebody out or using explicit language towards another kid or player or whatever, like all of that stuff is red flags. You got a parent yelling, to another kid they need to do something to that will help their kid. Stuff like that is a red flag to me as well. So I think just knowing how to conduct yourself as a parent, when you're in that environment says a lot about you and says a lot about your kid as well.
Yeah. That's funny. I was about to go somewhere with that, but I'm gonna leave that one. I'm gonna leave that one alone. What are some questions you feel like these kids and parents should be asking these coaches that are recruiting them?
I think asking a coach how long do he plan on being at the school he's at. I think that's pretty reasonable if you have that type of relationship with them and feel like that they're going to tell you the truth.
So is that like asking how many years are left on your contract, or because if I feel like if a player asks, if you was the head coach somewhere and a player asks you, I mean, you probably gonna say, I mean, I plan on being here. Like, I
Right.
don't plan on going nowhere.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. But that's why I also said like having, getting to know that person and having
Yeah.
that type of relationship with you. Because I do feel like it's coaches out here that pretty truthful.
Yeah.
And probably, if they felt like that relationship with that kid is, at a certain level, then they would tell them the truth. Obviously, it's probably some that wouldn't, but
Yeah.
I think it work both ways.
What are some other questions they should be asking?
Some other questions that they should be asking are, you know, um, the style of play. What style of play do you guys run? And think also as you ask that, doing your homework to see if what they said matches what they, how their team plays. Because for us, for instance, we were second in ACC in assists this year, behind Duke. Now, and we tied Duke for the most points in the game. So I tell kids that we play fast. If you go look at the stats of ACC, you see how fast we play. We scored the most points in ACC every game, tied with Duke. Now, if I told you we play fast and then you go look up our points and we score 66 a game, now you looking like
something ain't adding up.
Something ain't adding up. So I think a lot of parents, so what I'm going with this is don't take someone's word so much. Do your own homework to figure out if what they telling you matches up. So I think that's another good one. And then I would say another good question for them to ask is so many run through my head. I think another good one would be have you coached somebody at my position or my style of play, and how have you helped them develop. Player development is another thing. Like, how's you guys player development? I think in college period, player development is really important. It's important to me because that's how I got into coaching. But I think player development in college, if you're trying to play at the next level, is extremely important. So haven't, are you a school that develops, or like what do y'all player development plan look like? I think that's a great question. That would probably be number one.
I was gonna say that's a good one. I don't think I've heard anybody even bring that one up, but that's a big one.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna get to the school, but you need a development plan.
Yeah,
Like,
because realistically, a lot of schools, I'm not talking bad about nobody, but it's just the truth. A lot of schools want players to come in and be ready already, but you can see or tell who's developing because you get guys and girls that go to places and maybe one year they average 2 points, or they're not starting, or they're not playing a lot. Then the next year they're averaging 10, and the next year they're averaging 15.
Yeah.
And then they end up in the WNBA.
Yeah.
Well, that's player development. Like, they didn't just roll out of bed and became better the next year. So,
Yep.
I think looking at that, dynamic as well is very important.
Yep. And I want to stay on the player development piece. One, so is there a difference? Like, I hear this a lot where a lot of people who train don't necessarily want to be called a trainer. Like, I've always heard where people would be like, a trainer and a player development coach is two different things. Would you say that? Like, are those two different things?
Well, it's definitely two different things. I also feel like that's been thrown around. I've told people for years that I'm not a trainer.
Okay.
I've been a player development coach. But obviously now it's popular to say.
Yeah.
So
Facts.
I've been saying this. You can go back and it's documented that I've been saying this. I've never been wanted to be called a trainer. So yeah.
What's the difference though?
Because a trainer is training is oversaturated, and there's a lot of people that's training. And I mean, you can literally pick up a basketball and go outside to a park and see a kid shooting and say, "Hey,
let me train.
You play basketball? Yeah. Come here, let me show you something."
Yeah.
Then you deemed as a trainer because you don't have to take no tests. You don't have to read nothing. You have to take the bar exam like to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
It's just so easy to be called a trainer. Like, player development coach is like, we're doing basketball, but I'm also helping a player with their mind and developing their mind on and off the court. And I think with the guys I've worked with since I've been in coaching, I think that's a testament to the players that I've worked with, because I work with some of them fairly young and they've developed and they've where they are right now. But it wasn't just all about training. Every time I talked to them, it wasn't just about basketball.
Yeah.
A lot of these young dudes I've talked to about life and the decisions they need to make and just all type of things that develop them on and off the court. Because in my mind, I think mental is more important than physical.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Now, you said that some of the people you worked with, you worked with at a young age. Like, talk about that development process of some of the clients that you've had that have, I mean, you got clients that are everywhere. You got some that's in the league, all these different things. But like, what did that development process look like?
Everybody's development is different.
Yeah.
Some people are further along than others. I've started with some players back then who were more talented than another player or whatever. But I always focus on if we could work on one thing for this month, and develop that, whether it's footwork, whether it's ball handling, whether it's shooting, different kind of shooting. If we can just work on one thing for a month, floaters, and develop that and get that better, then we can move on to the next thing. I think a lot of people in training kind of mess up, in my opinion, with trying to make a workout look good from a standpoint of like, you throwing this in, you throwing that in, you throwing this in, and then you putting it all together. And then when you really go back and look at it, you're like, well, how long did y'all work on ball handling? Like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
How long did y'all work on shooting floaters? Like 2 minutes. How long?
That's a good point.
How many shots did y'all get up? And then it's like, well, yeah, the workout looked good when you posted it or put it online, but in reality, like, y'all really wasn't doing nothing. I've worked with players on strictly one shot for a whole workout for 45 minutes. And that's all we did that day. And they looked at me crazy at the end. It was like, "Coach, we ain't doing nothing else." And I'm like, "Nah, that's it. I'll see you tomorrow."
That's a great point. That's a great point.
Because I wasn't in a rush. Like at this
Yeah.
time, you know, I wasn't coaching college. I didn't have my degree, so I wasn't in a rush. I was patient with it too. I think a lot of people who are training in player development, whatever you want to call it, they're in a rush.
Yeah.
You know, to get a player better, to get to a certain level of status as a trainer or whatever. And like, I wasn't in a rush. I love the game of basketball. I was a 0-star out of high school. I turned myself into a professional basketball player. So, and I didn't have no trainer. It was just me. So I felt like God gave me that gift to develop myself. So if he gave me somebody to work with that was way more talented than me and I was patient with it, I could help them. That's why Danis Jenkins is going into his second year in the NBA, and he had one scholarship offer out of high school.
That's crazy.
He went to Pacific University out of high school, and I've had the kid since his senior year. We never rushed anything. Me and him never even talked about the NBA. We just focused on getting better the next day and trying to get better for Pacific, trying to get better for Iona, trying to get better for St. John's, you know. And the same thing when I was working with Trey, Mike Miles, all of those guys. Like, I never tried to rush anything. It was just like, I'm trying to help them get better tomorrow.
All right. You are about halfway through this episode. Hold on, let me get a little closer. I need you to do me a favor. I need you to hit the subscribe button. And while you at it, hit the like button. I know I'm asking for a lot. Go ahead and share this with 2 other parents that need to hear this information. Because I'm here to help y'all, and I need y'all to help me so that I can get this information out to more people. Now back to the episode.
I remember seeing a post, it was maybe a while ago. It was like a throwback of you in the gym with Trey.
Mm-hmm.
And just young, this skinny,
Yeah.
like, and to see now is crazy.
Yep. Super proud of him, man. His dad laid the foundation down for him. You know, shout out to Rich. He laid the foundation down for him. I was just a small part of his development. You know, really thankful for that time, you know, I spent with him because, like I said in the beginning of this interview or this podcast, I was at a crucial time in my life trying to figure out what was next for me. Mm-hmm. And in coaching, you're pouring into kids, you're pouring into people every day. So you're always giving. And I was at a point in my life to where I was going through some things personally, and just that process really did something for me. It helped me, you know, with him and Danis. You know, I was with them dudes every day for the most part. In that time, so it helped me grow as a coach and grow as a man. So just as much as somebody may think that I helped them, they helped me too. Yeah. So part of my success and where I'm at, you know, I owe to them as well, because they trusted in me during that time, and they allowed me to be a part of their journey.
Yeah. So when it comes to training, or I'm gonna just stay like with them too, like, was this like free work or was this like paid work? Like, what did that look like? And I'm only asking that because, like, there's some trainers that listen to this and like they go back and forth of like, should I charge this person? Should I do this for free? Is this building my portfolio? Like, what does that look like? So that's the reason I'm asking.
I'm gonna say this, you know, because I get that question a lot.
Yeah.
Just in my daily life. You know, I say this. When I was just strictly training, I had to figure that out too.
Yeah.
And I think everybody's situation, everybody's journey is different. But for me, I figured out what was more important.
Yeah.
Because it was my basketball journey that helped me figure this out. Because when I played overseas, I was always thinking like, man, I'm in this country, I'm killing, I'm trying to get to the next country, I'm trying to get to the next job, and not really understanding like the job that I was just at was pretty good, so I could just stay there.
Yeah.
But I was so, you know, trying to get to the next thing. And I think, you know, when I started doing PD, I was like, you know what? Sometimes all money ain't good money.
Facts.
Let me just use this as a resume builder. Let me I got this kid every day. Let me just pour into him as much as I can. Let me see what he needs and how I could help him get better and do something that somebody else is not doing. and hopefully him, his parents, or whoever see that value in me. Because that word right there, that was what I wanted to create. Like I wanted
Right.
to create value.
Yeah.
I could say this on camera now, but I was offered, some things during that time frame for the kids that I was working with. And, shout out to myself because I stood tall during those times and I never accepted nothing from nobody. And there was times where I needed what people were offering. And I looked at myself and said, bro, you're not going to be able to sleep at night if you do that. So I stood tall and said, no, thank you. I'm going to create my own value, create my own wave. And then when I do that, somebody going to notice that. I graduated from UMHB May 7th, 2022. Coach Jerome Tang called me a few days later, offered me the GA job at Kansas State. And he wasn't even on social media. He said that, man, I heard that you've been in Dallas developing these players and doing your thing, blah, blah, blah. And I want to bring you to K-State with me. So I wanted to create that value and that value created opportunity.
Yeah. I want to ask you, and I don't know like what the offers was, but when you said like you want to create your own, right? And again, I'm saying this from a place of like not knowing whatever you was offered. Do you feel like that is kind of like, I don't know if I want to say an issue or like, okay, I feel like a lot of people don't want to come together, right? A lot of people don't want to collaborate. A lot of people don't like, because they want to do their own. Like, do you feel like, I don't even really know my question. Maybe like, do you feel like that hurt a little bit? Or do you feel like it's like, why go the long way when sometimes you can, I don't even want to say the easier way, but I guess it's like, I can't really get out what I'm trying to say, but I guess it's like, okay, if I'm running a tournament and you're running a tournament and we both can put the tournament together and it's bigger,
right?
Why do we both just keep running the tournament on our by ourselves?
Yeah, I mean that's just pride. I mean, people just want to say they did it first, or they doing it rather. Like that's all it is. That's just the human nature of what goes on in the basketball world. That's what I think.
But I'm saying like, well, and I say I use that example from like your situation, how you said like you wanted to create your own value. Like, why wouldn't you have wanted to? And I don't even know what the offering was.
Okay, so from my perspective, I was offered things to, like train under somebody else and, work in somebody else's gym, and make X amount of dollars and things like that. And for me, it had nothing to do with said person.
Got you.
It was for my own self. I felt like what God had called me to do, I'm pretty good at it. And a calling on my life, I feel like it could take me to greater heights. So I wanted to create my own value in my own wave. Because again, I'm 38 years old. You can go back as far as you want. I never told anybody that I was gonna be a coach.
Yeah.
Never. I've never had coaching on my tongue as a player. When I was young, I never thought I would be coaching. So when I got done playing, coaching was that's how I know it's my calling and what God had called for me to do, because I wasn't searching for it. I wasn't looking for it. And a lot of people who training or trying to get into coaching or whatever, like they're trying to get in. They're trying to get in to see what they can gain.
Yeah.
And to see how they can do this and do that. Like it's people now like tell me all the time, like, Coach, man, can I come help you with your workouts? You working with this NBA player, this NBA player. But I think to myself sometimes, I'm like, I don't mean to be rude, but like, man, back in 2018, 2019, I used to work all these dudes out by myself. I had nobody else in the gym. Nobody even asking me to come to the gym with me. You know what I'm saying? And I was in there from sun up to sundown, you know what I'm saying? And I'm the same person. So like, what's changed?
Yeah.
So but I never like looked at another trainer or another NBA coach like, oh man, I got to hurry up and get right here. Like, no, I was just being where my feet was at and trusting God.
Yeah. I like that. Be where your feet are.
That's it. That's it. One of my favorite lines.
Yeah. Be where your feet are. Or how many, do you think it's an issue with kids having multiple trainers?
no, I don't think it's an issue. Depending on the age and who's training them, I think that's important because you can have multiple trainers, but you gotta be on the same page, like knowing what this kid is working on and what he needs.
Yeah.
Because obviously different coaches got different philosophies or whatever the case may be, or and stuff like that. But I just think like if everybody's on the same page, then I think you can. But it ain't a lot of times. This is from what I saw. It's not the kid. It's the coaches and the trainers.
That's what I'm saying. Like
those are the people who like so territorial. Like, man, don't go over there and work out with him. That's my kid. Or now I don't like this person because he working with.
Bro, that's the craziest.
He working with so and so, and like me, when I got into it, I'm like, man, I don't care who. Like, I wouldn't care who Dana's go work out with. If he's going over there to get better and he's getting better, if he come back to me and say, Coach, man, I worked out with so and so. And it was good. Like, I got better. Cool.
Yeah.
But, like, it's so many people that's, like, so insecure with themselves or trying to hurry up and climb that ladder that, they don't want their kid to go over there because if that kid makes it, they want to be recognized.
Yeah.
And, like, man, I've worked with so many people, so many players who I've helped before they, but got the name that they have, and like I haven't been in one picture, and I don't care. Like, and it's not that I got a problem with that kid or parent or whatever. It's just that I understood when God placed me in his life and when he needed me, and when I needed him. And if he didn't need me no more after 3-4 years, then guess what? I'm okay with that because my life has went in another direction as well.
Yeah.
And and that's just the nature of it.
Yeah, and I think it's what you just said. Like, I think a lot of trainers, one, they want the recognition. Two, they're afraid to lose the kid.
Right.
Like, they think if you go somewhere else,
right,
they're going to lose them.
Right.
And it's just, I think you got to play both lines, right? I do think that kids should be, one, for whatever, kids should be able to train wherever.
Right.
Right. But I do think when you get so many trainers, the kid is confused at this point.
Yeah, no doubt.
You telling this kid one thing, I'm telling him a whole nother thing. Trainer 3 is telling him something different.
Yeah.
I just don't know how you get better like that.
Yeah, from my experience when I was just doing it before I got into college, the players that I work with these guys consistently. And for the most part, they work with me consistently.
Yeah.
Now, maybe they went off and hooped over here or worked out with somebody with their homeboy over here 1 or 2 times or whatever. Like, yeah, but for the most part, I have 5-6 guys every day.
Yeah.
And they was hearing from me every day. And like I said, we worked on one thing every day for a while, and then we went on to another thing. So my development plan, I believe, has worked. And I mean it humbly because, I've helped a few guys, and they've made it to the NBA. And then I've also helped, some people who wasn't even a Division I player, like my nephew. My nephew played JV in football up until his sophomore year at Frisco Memorial.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's a freshman at Texas Tech. So a lot of people talk about like the NBA players I work with, but like, man, I had my nephew since the 8th grade, and my nephew is a freshman at Tech. He's going to get playing time this year at Texas Tech. 3 years ago, people used to see me post my nephew. My nephew looked like he couldn't walk and chew bubble gum. He was decent.
That's crazy.
But like those are the type of things that I'm proud of. Obviously, like Trey is Trey, and Mike became Mike, and Dana is where he is. But like my nephew being a Division I basketball player, like, man, I spent so much time with this kid every day, all day. I'm super, super proud of him. But
it started in 8th grade.
8th grade, but the credit go to him. Like my nephew, that's the thing. Like people know that that's my kid, but it's like even if they didn't, like I wouldn't care because like the thing with me is I really play.
Yeah.
Like I really hoop. Like I don't need to. I mean, you see me play basketball before. I'm not saying I was just an NBA player, but I was pretty good. Like I don't need to reinvent myself in the basketball world as a coach. Like I
Right.
want to be known as a good coach, you know, for the rest of my life. But like I'm not trying to reinvent myself to where kids like, hey, remember me, don't forget me,
Yeah.
bring me along. Like, no, like when I played, I really got at dudes too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like I'm cool with the way my basketball career went.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so I think a lot of coaches and trainers like are insecure with themselves and as a player, and now they're getting into coaching and training and they're trying to reinvent themselves, and like that's just not how you should be. From in my opinion, I just
Yeah.
think it should be genuine. Like, did I know Dana Jenkins could make it to the NBA? No.
Yeah.
I just poured into the kid and tried to give him everything that I didn't feel like I had, and he was talented. Now, when I met him, did I think he could make it? I don't know. I thought he could be a pretty good college player.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that's just how it worked. Like when I met Trey, did I think he could be an NBA player? No. I mean, he was in the 8th grade, going to the 9th grade. Like, how could you know that?
Right.
But if you're doing things for the right reason and pouring your heart into it, then I feel like God gonna bless you. And I didn't do it for no money, because if I did, shoot, I probably wouldn't be sitting in this chair. I'd be somewhere on the beach right now. So I didn't make a lot of money during that time.
Yeah, I feel that. What questions should parents be asking when trying to find a trainer? When trying to find the right trainer for their athlete?
I think asking availability, asking about their trainer's availability, because you know availability is the best ability is your availability. So if you're a trainer, you know you should be available all the time. I think that's why a lot of dudes wanted to work out with me too, because I was always available. They never not reached out to me and I said, well, I got this going on or that going on. I was always available and at their disposal, and they was trying to get better. So I think asking about that person's availability and knowing that your kid can get work in consistently is important. I think another important question is to ask, you know, about that person's set trainer basketball background, knowing that they, you know, you can. This is another subject, but you could have been a good basketball
But not
player,
a good trainer.
but not a good trainer.
Facts.
You could have been a good basketball player and not a good coach.
Yep.
I've played with so many dudes who basketball IQ is really low, but they was really talented.
Yep.
And I wasn't just the most talented, so I had to know how to think the game and learn the game and be a student of the game. So I developed a high basketball IQ. I would say I have a high basketball IQ. But it's so many people that just because they can make threes and go dunk and do a nice dribble move, they think they can. You look at it. It don't work. It don't work that way, because a lot of training has to do with patience as well.
Yeah.
And just because you can go run and dunk and jump, if you're not patient with this kid and his process, then you setting that kid up for failure.
Yep. Now you said availability, right?
Yep.
How do you balance? Like, how would trainers balance like their life if they available like all day, every day for parents? Like, how do you create that balance?
Man,
do you create that balance?
It's not easy. But everybody's situation and lives is different. But what I can say about the way my life was set up at the time, I had a lot going on. I had a lot of kids personally, had a lot going on in my personal life. But when I realized my calling and my passion, I devoted my time to it no matter what. And I didn't let nothing be an excuse for that.
Yeah.
I do a free camp in South Dallas every summer. I haven't done it the past year and a half. And I did this camp the first 3 summers. And then while I was training, they came to me and said, Coach, man, you one of the few people that give back to South Dallas. You do a camp over here for free. We know you be training players. This was out the blue. We know you be training players. Here go the keys to the gym. You can get to the gym whenever you need it from 4 to 10 p.m. And that blessing gave me the opportunity to have all the guys that I was working with have a gym and availability. So like it works. Like if you
Yeah.
it works itself out when you stay devoted and stay committed. Now when you know, again, I don't know people's lives, but if you got excuses about why this can't happen or why you can't do this, then you know it's probably really not for you.
Yeah.
So that's just my opinion.
You are dope. You know what? Like, just like
I appreciate it.
knowing, and I mean, I don't even know your full story, but like just knowing just from like looking at the social media, knowing what you doing, like even just for the camp, like there's so many people out here that can be doing camps, that should be doing giving back, doing free camps, doing all these different things, but they not.
Yeah, I'm just a big believer in, you know, my grandma taught me this. She died in 2018 and she taught me that, you know, she taught me the power of giving.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously we raised in South Dallas and in the inner city and around a lot of negative things and poverty.
Mhm.
My grandma would have $100 and I would literally see her make me go to the store, get change for the $100 and give a stranger $50. And I'm like, Grandma, why are you giving that lady $50? She like, you don't see that lady with them 4 kids? She need help. And I'm thinking to myself at 9, 10 years old, like, we need help.
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. And I couldn't understand it, but was the most caring, the most giving person that I ever met, her and my mom. And they lights always stayed on.
Yeah.
My mom was single mother of 4 kids. I don't know how she did it, how she made it look like we never struggled. And God always made a way for her. So they instilled that in me. So, you know, the things that's going on in my life or that have went on in my life is because, and I'm not bragging about it, I'm just saying I understand that God has put me in a position to understand that, man, when you give and you give for the right reasons and you do for the right reasons, he's gonna always bless you.
Yeah.
He's gonna always bless you. So I understand that. So I always make sure that, you know, that I'm giving or that I'm blessing somebody and being a blessing to somebody.
Yeah. And I know you done blessed a lot of people with this episode. Like, I know it. And just from witnessing the hard work, just from witnessing what happens when you stay down.
No doubt.
Like, and you just work.
No doubt.
Like, it ain't gonna be easy. Like, you don't bless me. Like, even with this episode, like, I'm so serious. Like, just like knowing it, like, I always talk about like the work is the work.
Mm-hmm.
And like, head down, just continue to work. Good things gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna always always work itself out.
Yeah.
And you know, you can't waver. Like
Yeah.
your faith can't waver. And it's, you know, as humans, it's hard for us to understand that and to live by that. But that's what faith is. Like, you know, when you believing in something and you working hard for something, you know, James 2:26, faith without works is dead.
Yeah.
So if you have faith and you working at it, you gotta know that it's gonna pop.
Yeah.
It's gonna shake. So keep going.
That's a fact, man. Jeremie, there's a 20. What are we in? What is 26?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. There's a 26 right now who have finished live period. And they don't know what to do. They nervous. They didn't get the looks they thought they should have got. They ain't got no offers right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they need some advice.
Mm-hmm.
Can you look in that camera and talk to that 2026?
Yeah, I would say to you, 2026, stay down with your work. You know, believe in yourself. Keep God first. You know, all of those things are a recipe for success. Don't look to your left. Don't look to your right. Just focus on your journey, your lane, and the things that you have going on. I am a product of that as a player. I'm a product of that as a coach. And I've helped and developed players who've been products of that as well. So just stay down, work as hard as you can, you know, keep God first. And, you know, good things will happen for you.
I love it, man. Listen, I need y'all to drop y'all takeaways in the comments. I read them, I respond to them. Drop your takeaways. If you enjoyed this episode, I want to hear your takeaways. I need you to hit the like button. I need you to hit the subscribe button. And listen, okay, y'all, I need my page back. So hopefully by the time this episode released, I got my page back. I need my Instagram page back. My personal page was taken. And I am hopeful that someone listening to this can help me. Or I'm manifesting that by the time this release, I got it back.
There we go.
That's what's gonna happen.
You're gonna get it back.
I'm gonna get it back.
You're gonna get it back.
But just in case I don't, I need y'all to help me. Reach out to me if you can help me get my page back. But hit that like button. I need you to hit the subscribe button. And then you listen to this episode every week. You already know what I'm gonna say. I got that page back, but I still got my pod page. So if you're not following on Instagram, I don't know what you're doing. Follow the page. It's just different pod.
3 things that parents need to know about recruiting. I would say number 1 is the obvious, the right fit, knowing that the style of play of your kid, the way that they like to play, the way that they're most comfortable playing, going to a school that plays that style of play. Number 2, parents understanding that you're being recruited just as your kid is being recruited. So when we come out to see your kids play, we're looking at mom and dad, who's ever in the stands. We're looking at the way that you react, the way that you conduct yourself in the crowd, because your kid is a reflection of you. So whatever that looks like, is what we believe that's being taught in the home. Number three, number three, number three, I would say, um, getting to know the coaches that's recruiting you, and knowing that they're in that location or at that university for a long period of time, and not just recruiting you for the moment, and checking out once you sign there. So doing your homework on knowing the staff, and how long they're at their university.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode and staying to the very last minute. For that, I got a gift for you. I don't know if you can actually see this because I got black on black, but I have merch, different merch. And you can get your different merch at itsjustdifferentapparel.com. Use code podcast to get 15% off. See you next week.